Can you see what it says? After school snack. It's nothing exciting, it's just matcha. So planning for next year is my jam. That is what I'm all about. But it's really hard to do that without spending some time reviewing how our last school year went, things that worked well, things that didn't, and what our goals are going to be for the next year. So today's video is all about how we felt about our school as we wrap up our school year and how we keep records of things we learned. Today's video is part of a collaboration playlist hosted by Valerie at Our Homeschool Castle, and I'm also going to share this in the Homeschool Show and Tell Open collaboration, and that is hosted by Jessica over at the Waldock Way and Abby from Rooted in Rest. You can find links to these playlists and all the host channels down in the description box below. Welcome back to Regular Secular Mama. If you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a 5th year homeschooling mom to 2 kiddos, currently ages 8 and 11 years old. As we're wrapping up our 5th year of homeschooling, I did some reflection and sat down to see how we felt about our school. I feel like this video could get a little long and chatty, so I will try to kind of sum it up a little bit. I'm also not going to share too much about what I'm planning for the next year because that's all going to be in another video. I think the best way I could sum up this past school year is the year of experimentation. We made so many changes this year. It was like one small change led to another change and then another change, and it kind of snowballed, you know? I wasn't really planning on changing a ton of things for this year, but a lot of the new things that we tried worked really, really well, and so I'm glad that we did try some new things. A lot of the changes kind of led to a feeling of disorganization, I guess, and that always leaves me feeling a little scattered or scatterbrained. So now that we've kind of fallen into our groove with the new things that we're using and enjoying, I think hopefully next year will go a little bit more smoothly now that we've kind of worked out the kinks. One of the big changes we made was with our history curriculum. I mentioned this in another video, but we used History Quest for middle times, for middle ages, and we really enjoyed History Quest, and I was really looking forward to the next volume, but it just wasn't going to be ready anywhere near when we needed it for the next school year, and I didn't really want to put it off and, you know, fill in with unit studies or anything. I really wanted to go ahead and jump into what was coming next. So the next time period was early modern history, and I know History Quest wasn't doing an early modern anyway. They are combining modern history kind of into one volume after the United States history book that is coming out actually any day now. I think it's the middle of May. I'll have to check on that. Anyway, so we couldn't use History Quest when I wanted to use it. So I was looking around at different history curriculum and I found Build Your Library. And as a secular homeschooler, I'm surprised that I never found this before. We're big readers in this house. It is kind of perfect for how we school. So I'm really glad I stumbled upon it, and it worked so well this last year. Just the whole Build Your Library philosophy, I guess, and how the program works. Now, I did try to combine levels 3, which is early modern history, and level 5, which is American history. And I talk about this in another video where I share where I planned to mix them together and how that plan looked. And then I also shared another video recently on an update how that worked out. The short version is it didn't work out very well. We ditched Build Your Library level 3 and just stuck with early American history. So Build Your Library as a whole works really well for us. I think because we're such big readers, this was the first really heavily literature-based curriculum that we've used. History Quest includes a book list, and there are lots of supplementary readers, and the Hygge History Weeks where we dive into mythology and stuff, but it's not as literature rich as Build Your Library is. That's kind of the point of Build Your Library. And anyway, so we really enjoyed Build Your Library. It worked really well and fit into our homeschool style really, really well. So I'm glad we used that. As far as like individual reading, my daughter has done independent readers before, but having them assigned and planned out for me in Build Your Library was really nice. And I think she enjoyed most of the readers that we did. I really enjoyed having them tied into history and what we were studying. So that was really nice that I didn't have to go and find these books on my own. I really enjoyed buddy reading with her too. That was been really fun. For my son, we did continue using All About Reading, but very early on in the school year, we actually set it aside because he was starting to feel kind of bored with it. He never really enjoyed the like hands-on cut and paste kinds of activities. He just like did the flashcards and stuff with me, and he was getting bored with it. And the very last thing I wanted was for him to come into reading and being a fluent reader and not liking it. Enjoying reading was a huge goal of mine for him. So we set aside All About Reading, and we just continued with him basically reading aloud to me a little bit every day, and he got to pick pretty much whatever he wanted to read to me. Some weeks it was early readers like, I don't know, Frog and Toad, and some weeks it was Harry Potter. He's been doing that one the past couple of months, so we're slowly working our way through Harry Potter. And then some weeks it was Dogman, so it was fine. It was whatever he wanted to read to me. My goal was really just to build fluency, but also make sure that he loved reading. And I'm happy to report that he said reading was his favorite thing he did for school this year. So that was really nice to hear. One other thing with Build Your Library that worked really well for us was continuing with copywork, narration, and dictation. So before, we had used Writing with Ease here and there over the past couple of years, and it's basically copywork, dictation, and narration. So having that already planned out in Build Your Library with the literature that we're reading, it was nice that it just fit seamlessly into what already worked well for us. A few years ago, when my daughter was, I think, 8 years old, we were using r.e.a.l for writing. Their structure and style no, that's the new one. The student writing intensive was, before they updated it. Anyway, it's a very structured, like super duper structured writing curriculum, and I thought it worked well at first, but she quickly grew to hate writing. Not hate writing, it was just very stressful for her and very time consuming. Now she was 8 years old, so I'm sure that had something to do with it, but we decided to set it aside and kind of ease up on writing skills for a while. So I think that, coupled with other things that we were using this year working very well, her writing skills, I think, are the most improved out of anything for this school year. I'm really impressed with how far she's come with her ability to write well. So let's see, what else? We gave a new curriculum a shot for reading and writing, and that was Lightning Literature. I posted a video not too long ago, though, about how Lightning Literature did not work, and we were able to see that very quickly. I thought we were going to really like it. It seemed like something that would fit really well and hopefully be a little more independent, a little less teacher intensive, but it didn't work. So you can check out that video and see in more detail maybe my thoughts on why it didn't work, but we tried something, it didn't work, and we ditched it right as soon as we discovered it was just not a good fit. You want to share a paragraph? We can do that.
To show them the wolf.
The one you wrote about the wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can share that if you want to. Just for fun here, I'm going to share a paragraph, or like at the beginning of a story that my daughter wrote. I was lost. Different shades of gray rustled around me. I squeaked, hoping someone would notice me. I was lucky. Sharp and motherly teeth snatched my scruff and carried me along the crowd. They dropped me and I landed on my tail. Yelping, I took in my surroundings. I was on a dark hill. I stepped forward in the damp grass, looking skyward. It was beautiful, cold, and glowing. The specter's shining light swam across my face. I took it all in slowly. A mourning wail broke the silence. When it faded, 100 more barks erupted from everyone around me. Then I felt it, a deep sensation in my chest willing me to let it out, and let it out I did. We howled through the night. I felt the power seeping through my fur and soaking up my bones, but that was last night. So I thought it was beautiful, and this was just an example of how far her writing has come this year. Anyway, so thank you for humoring me. Another big change that we made was with our language arts and our writing. We tried out Michael Clay Thompson this year. And if you are not new to my channel, you probably know how much we liked it and how well it worked for us. I don't know why it took me so long to try Michael Clay Thompson. I've seen it pop up here and there on, Facebook and people talking about homeschooling curriculum. So yeah, I don't know why it took me so long to try it. It's very expensive, so that's probably, a turn off. But anyway, we tried it and we loved it. It worked so well. My kids enjoyed it, first of all, which is, important. And they also learned so much grammar, like more grammar than I even remember from all of my years of school, in a way that was very relevant. Like the grammar that they learned became relevant with all the activities that they were doing in writing with Michael Clay Thompson. It's very well woven into all parts of each level. The only piece of Michael Clay Thompson that I think didn't work very well at this stage was Caesar's English. So in the island level, Building Language is the book that covers like Latin-based word roots and vocabulary, and that strand continues in Caesar's English for the town level. The rigor ramps up quite a bit between those two books, and I don't think it was necessarily too difficult for my 11-year-old to do the work, but I think it was just kind of a lot all at once. And anyway, so we liked it. It just was kind of hard to fit it into our day, and we decided to set it aside. We'll probably bring it back next year and start it up again, when after the school year gets underway. All right, so what's left? Science is always good. We've done r.e.a.l Science Odyssey since the beginning, and this year was chemistry. So that one is geared toward, I believe it's 1st through 4th, or maybe 2nd through 5th grade. And when I looked at it at the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be challenging and interesting, and it is interesting, but I think it was like the perfect level for my son, my 8-year-old, but it was not really challenging enough for my daughter, my 11-year-old. I don't know if maybe she just did a lot of growing this year, from last year to this year, or if it just didn't ask enough of her, but she said she was kind of bored with it. She actually said science was her least favorite subject this year, so that was kind of a bummer, but that's okay. We're still going to finish out chemistry. You may have seen in another video that we are going to split up our science for next year. So, like I said, I'll go over that in more detail in another video, but they're splitting for science. She's going to do r.e.a.l Science Odyssey Biology Level 2, which is geared toward, middle school ages. And then my son is going to continue with the last book for Level 1, the physics book. You can actually find a flip-through video that I did right up here for Biology Level 2. So I'm really looking forward to it. It definitely looks challenging, like way more challenging than what we used this year. So that should be fun. Let's see, math. I didn't talk about math. There's not much to say really about math. We have used Math-U-See since the very beginning of our homeschool journey, and it has always worked very well. Let's see, my daughter did fractions this year, and actually I'm very impressed with how hard she worked to master fractions. Like, fractions are hard, you know, and yeah, she did a great job. For about the first half of the school year, we did supplement a bit with Beast Academy. I think I even included it in my curriculum choices video for the 21-22 school year. And while we like Beast Academy, the characters and the guidebook and everything are really fun, and we actually really enjoyed the online version of Beast Academy, and it's way more affordable. But I don't know, they just got really bored with the books, and it just seemed like something that was taking up their time that wasn't necessary. So they said they didn't want to do it anymore, and I said, that's fine, I don't really care. I don't think we'll pick it back up. If I had better internet, I would totally do the Beast Academy online, because we really enjoyed that. It was really fun. It felt like they were playing games, and I feel like it did a good job, like, moving from one skill to the next and like seeing where they're at. Anyway, but our internet is still not good, and it probably won't be anytime soon. So that's fine. We're done with Beast Academy. I believe these videos were also talking about record keeping and how we keep records for the school year. I live in Texas, so I actually don't have to keep any detailed records. I don't have any portfolio reviews or testing or attendance or any of that stuff. I don't have to report to anybody, which is really nice. But I report to myself, so I keep records for me, and also in case I ever need to put them in school, or if we move somewhere where they need to see some sort of record. I don't keep a lot of their actual school work. I do keep a couple of math tests. Let's see, I also keep a couple of samples of written work especially from early in the year and then late in the year to, see improvement. I keep an art portfolio that they add their favorite artwork to that they've done during the year. And let's see, I don't keep attendance. I don't really grade anything. I keep track of their math tests, but I don't assign them grades yet. So there's nothing like that. I do keep a record of all of the lessons and books and resources that we've used. For the past year or 2 years, I think, I've been doing digital planning and digital record keeping. So I used Trello once upon a time. Now I have switched into Notion, which is really nice for record keeping and using their databases for that kind of thing. So I do have like pages and databases on Notion with lists of all the things that we've done and dates that we finished lessons and things. Anyway, so it's not a very sophisticated, I guess, system of record keeping, but it is there if I ever need to like search back and find it. It's there, it's digital, it doesn't take up a lot of space in my house, which is nice. So that's pretty much it for the last school year. We found some things that we really enjoy. We tried some new things and made a lot of big changes. Luckily, a lot of the new things we tried did work very well and added a lot of value into our school. So I'm glad that we did that. I'm not afraid to try new things. I think next year, though, we are not going to make too many new changes just because things are working well right now and we have a nice flow to our day. So yeah, a lot of things are going to stay the same, except for, like I said, science is going to be kind of a change, having them split up rather than doing it as a group subject. So that's going to be our major hurdle to our schedule. And then my 11-year-old is firmly in her preteen years. So that's been really fun and challenging. Middle school is going to be a new chapter for sure. If she was in public school, she would be entering 6th grade next year. So that's really exciting. But it is going to be, tough. We're going to have to work on some of her time management skills and study skills. The science that we're doing next year does include unit exams, which we're going to use. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it helps her kind of work on those study skills, you know, over the course of a few weeks, rather than just whatever we did that week. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely go check out those playlists so you can see other homeschool parents and how their years went. I'd love to hear how your homeschool year went, so be sure to drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!